I am Timothy Daniel Leon, and I'm a native of Denver, Colorado. I have been a hairdresser for 29 years, coming up in April, and just in the past 2 to 3 years, I also have an alpaca farm. I feel very safe in the neighborhood I live right now. It is a beautiful area, but even what we think are really nice, safe areas can sometimes not be. In fact, even in the last year in broad daylight, someone broke into my truck and just tore it up.
Many Americans are scared of using a firearm for self-protection. Are you one of them?
I am totally not confident with the firearm. I'm very nervous around it. I have never in my life gotten close enough near a gun to be touching, holding, or let alone firing a gun. Personally, I don't feel that it's just something that I have never been interested in. It's just that I don't know how to use them. And to me, life is so precious that before you actually handle one, I think it's very important that you have the training in order to do that.
But what's brought Timothy to TAC Pro?
I have been a victim of a hate crime. I allowed this to happen. And even afterwards, I wrote an article for gay people because, back then it's like, yeah, you're partying, you meet somebody in the bar. It can be, like for me, a ride for your life that you really don't want.
Back in the summer of 1983, Timothy Leon didn't have a care in the world. He was young, motivated, and beginning a career as a hairstylist. But one night, out with friends in downtown Denver, everything changed. Elsewhere that evening, 4 good friends celebrated a birthday from the back seat of a limousine in downtown Denver. Through the day and into the night, they had made several stops at numerous pubs, bars, and nightclubs. It was by mere chance that one of the men recognized Timothy.
I was standing there having a cocktail, and a couple of guys came up and they were drinking, and then we started talking, and then they said, hey, well, it's his birthday. Do you want to come out to the limousine and we're going to crack open some champagne? And I didn't think anything of it because, limo, champagne, that's usually what you do for a birthday. And so I told my friends who were playing pool, I'll be right back, and I'm going to go out and have some champagne in the limousine. So went out, stepped into the limousine. The 2 guys turned into 4 guys. There were 2 women in front. Within the first 5 to 10 minutes, they started realizing that I had gotten into the wrong car.
As the limo quickly pulled away from the bar and onto the highway, Timothy began to realize what a horrible mistake he'd made.
I said, where are you guys going? And they just started punching me from all different angles.
The beating went on for over 20 minutes as the limo driver raced down to the outskirts of town.
I couldn't tell you exactly how long the beating went on for. I heard a woman run up and she told the guy, Jimmy, come on, we gotta go, Jimmy. Well, after they were done and they were gone, I crawled over to a house and I banged on the door.
The homeowner, scared to see a bruised and battered, half-naked man at the door, ordered Tim to remain outside until authorities arrived.
And I looked like the Elephant Man when I was done, so that was very hard for my family to see. A year before, I had a corneal transplant, and with the kicking, they reopened that. So I had to immediately go into surgery, and they actually could not put me under. They called my surgeon, and they actually sewed my eye back on while I was away. The punishment that Timothy faced didn't just physically disable him. He's also suffered mental and emotional scars. Scars he still carries to this day. All I really see on this side is more blurry and shadows. Sometimes I'm just off, I'm slower, you know what I mean? And it's just because I have more one eye that I have to overcompensate with it. And in many ways, I'm not as confident as I was when I was younger. More and more, I feel that paranoia of just being around people. But I've done some great things since that happened to me.
Nobody wants to come and do something until after something happens. And to say it's not going to happen to me is the old ostrich syndrome. We're going to stick our head in the sand until it does happen to me, and then I'm going to go and get something done about it. That breaks my heart. When we know we could have changed the whole outcome if we could just give them an insight for something to do. I guarantee you, with all of you, if there was something you could have done and you'd been told how to do it, you would have done it.
If I have any fears about this class, it's that I would not be strong enough to do this. I only got so much perception on this side, so throughout the years it's kind of messed up my equilibrium. I'm always constantly getting lost.
Though the first couple of days in the classroom have been challenging for Timothy, due in part to his affected eyesight and poor hand strength, he's very optimistic about the days ahead.
Being that this is the first time I picked up a gun ever in my life, I just got a little bit nervous and it's kind of hard to think clearly. And if you've never done it before, I think that's a biggie. I got to remember to keep my anxiety down and just take it slow.
Okay, so empty magazine in, by the way. Points to forward, that's it.
I predominantly worked with Howie and Timothy. I think Howie actually probably jumped into this a little bit more. Timothy was a little bit more hesitant.
I feel that it was very nerve-wracking, a little bit intimidating. At certain times I feel unsure. I definitely felt like I was more at the bottom of the class. It seemed everybody was right on their target.
Timothy needs to concentrate on his grip and also be very aware of where his trigger finger is. He was kind of getting down near the trigger guard every now and then. Finger off the trigger. It is a deadly force weapon. You can never ever forget that. Where's that finger? Back on that index point.
I'm like, oh man, this isn't gonna work. You gotta get it together here. You don't want to hurt anybody.
Okay, so what we're going to do, the instructors are going to dress behind you. You're going to do your normal safety procedures. Our goal for this class was to get them safely shooting at 3 yards, 7 yards and 10 yards. Once we're sure that they're absolutely safe, we can start going into drills, moving away from the threat and moving towards the threat.
Moving and shooting requires the same good weight distribution on your feet as standing and shooting. 60% on your toes, 40% on your heels.
The number one thing they need to understand is that the same sight picture and the same trigger control is there at 3 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards, 20 yards, 25 yards. And actually, if they're on advanced class, they'd use the same sight picture at 100 yards. The next drill is going to be 2 to the big circle, 1 step backwards, 1 to the little circle. Okay, and if you watch the instructor, we'll give you a complete demonstration. Instructor, pistol out, stand by. Up! And holster. The only rule about moving with a gun in your hand and your feet is if you're going backwards, you go toe to heel. So you notice my toe hits the ground first and then the heel. So if I go toe to heel, as I come back toe, heel, I've still got 60% on my toes. I can shoot even when I move it. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah? Everybody ready? Mm-hmm. This is where the metal meets the meat. Got to be able to move and shoot. Let's line up on our target. Check your left and right, make sure you're in line.
In a real life situation, you're not going to be standing on a line, having all the time in the world to set your sights and shoot.
I am looking forward to learning more tactics.
Finger off the trigger. Where's our default? There we go.
Up.
Scan. Take your step back. There you go. Finger off the trigger.
When we started shooting on the move, they reverted back to their problems because they were thinking so much about shooting on the move, they had not concentrating on the basic fundamentals.
So you just got to remember, don't look at the target. You got to look at that front side.
Scan again. Finger off the trigger.
I'm a little bit nervous. I fumbled a little bit in class this morning. My hand has touched the trigger a couple of times.
Finger off the trigger. Finger off the trigger. There you go.
Finger off trigger. If I see that on there again, you know what I'm going to do, don't you? I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to cut it off at the joint so you don't have a finger anymore and I don't have to worry about it. All right. Okay?
Hey, Timothy, it happens.
And Bill, he was going to cut off my finger if I didn't keep it off that trigger. I happen to use my hands to do my business in life. So I said, Tim, you need to really step it up.
All right. If you shoot yourself in the ass, I will not be sympathetic. Up!
Very good. Back on the front sight. Excellent. That was perfect. That's exactly what you needed to do.
Ready, position.
With each missed shot, Timothy loses more of his already diminished confidence.
You know, I move slower, I'm very meticulous in what I do. Part of that is because of my eye, and, you know, it makes a little bit more fumbling for me.
I don't think he has quite the physical gifts that some of the other shooters do. It's a place where physical self-confidence can help because you just don't let yourself be overwhelmed with the machinery.
Tim's not the only one with a disability.
When I was born, my radius and my ulna were fused, so I only have one bone in my left hand. So there's no rotation at all. My husband was trying to show me how, you know, he would hold his gun, and I was like, babe, I can't do that.
A physical disability doesn't have to stop you from defending yourself. Where there's a will, there is a way.
If your head's in the right place, we can teach you anything else. If you've got mindset issues, there's nothing we can do about it.
I have a very strong mentality about family because of the family that I came from. We always take care of each other, and my mother's always taught me no one else is going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. Just with the education, I can definitely do what I need to do in my life and protect those that I care about and love.
Today, the students are learning the art of shooting while on the move.
Line's clear, check your targets.
Walking backwards when you're shooting it's awkward.
It takes a little getting used to, but I feel like this is a lot more towards real life scenarios, so I really want to work on it. I did blow my target off.
You add something into it, like a new element into it, and you just have to take that step back and then refocusing on the second target. I only even hit the target about half the time that I hit the top target, so definitely a little more difficult.
It's a little bit with the coordination, but I think once I get that down, I'll be back on track.
Everybody good? Good. Now what we got to do is we got to teach you, and we got to show you that from the hips down doesn't count now. From the hips up, that's what controls the gun. That's what tells the gun what to do. That's what looks at your sight picture. That's what squeezes the trigger. Pistol out, sights on target. We're going to advance and shoot, stop and reverse and shoot. Stand by. Up. And steady. Stop there, scan, scan. Reverse. And stop. Scan. Safety catch and holster. Okay, class, listen in to me. This is our time to shine. This is our time to do well. You're going to get out there and you're going to make me proud, and you're going to hit that target and move. All of you have shown us that you can do it. You don't have to be scared of defending yourself. You don't have to be scared of owning a gun, and you don't have to let bad things happen to you. So we're going to get on the line, we're going to shoot and move, and we're going to show the world that anybody can learn how to do this. Ready? Up!
Hold up, stop.
Stop! Scan, scan!
Scanning is a vital component of shooting on the move. In high-tension situations, scanning compensates for tunnel vision and allows the shooter to be aware of all potential threats.
Keep backing up, and stop.
Start moving. We're moving and shooting. Keep walking. There you go. There you go. Front sight trigger press. Front sight.
Scan, scan!
Excellent.
Reverse!
Back it up. Watch that front sight. Timothy needs to go back over the basics. How do we do grip? How do we do sight picture? Then you can start thinking about how did we do shoot and move.
Something that they told us about, if you're not doing right, you're going to find out because it's not working. And when I was spraying them all over the place, it's because I was trying to watch that target.
Frustrated with his progress, Timothy phones home.
I was feeling pretty poor. I text my partner and I said, I'm not doing good here at all. I'm just really screwing up, and I don't want to embarrass I don't want to embarrass myself. And I'm going, oh no, I'm going to just have to go back to Denver and just say, you know what, I tried, but it didn't work.
With 3 days to go and a deteriorating ego, can Timothy find the perseverance to finish the class?